This is Jessica. She used to live in Seattle and now she lives in Olympia, and I thought it would be helpful just to hear her experience and why she decided to move to Olympia. Thanks for being here, Jessica.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Jessica, so how long did you live in Seattle?
15 years.
15 years. That's a long time. So you got a good experience of it and a good feel for what the city was like, and you kind of probably felt like it was home, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. What did you like about living in Seattle?
Oh, Seattle's the best. It has everything. Really good zoo, really good theaters, really good hospital, great public transit, light rail. There's always something to do, restaurants. I can't say anything bad about Seattle.
That's great, because some people might think that we're doing this interview because somebody hated Seattle and moved out of it, but that's not the case. You loved it.
I still love it. In my 15 years, though, it did change a lot. So I can say that it got more congested, more traffic, just harder to access the things I wanted to get to.
Okay. So how long had you been living in Seattle when you started to think you might want to live somewhere else?
It didn't really work that way.
Okay.
We wanted to buy a single family home.
Oh, okay.
And that's where it began.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So what was your budget, and tell me a little bit more about it.
Okay, so this was 7 years ago, pre-pandemic, right? So our budget was $425.
Okay.
And we wanted a single family house, not a fixer, because we both were working, we had a young child. It was really an intense time to buy a home in Seattle. So we fell in love with about 20 homes. We were about 8 offers. None of our offers were close to competitive. At that time, people were putting $50,000 above. They were waiving inspection, which felt crazy to me because we didn't know a lot about homes.
This is going to be your first home.
First single family.
Yeah.
We've had condo before, but it's a different animal.
Right.
So yeah, it was really intense. It felt too fast, and it also felt kind of high.
Yeah.
Like you're putting all your eggs in one basket and you can't even check that basket very well.
At that point, what were you able to get for $425? Do you remember?
Starter home. Yeah.
Fixer-upper?
No, but not cute. I mean, my house is adorable. It's a cute little craftsman. It looks like it would be right at home, like in Ravenna or somewhere really cute.
Yeah.
What we were looking at in Seattle for my price point at that time, not cute.
Yeah. So the cuteness factor was kind of overwhelming. Like, this is what we're going to spend this much money on, and then this is what we're going to have to live in, and plus you just couldn't get anything.
And the waiving inspections too. I mean, we had a down payment. We had good credit history. It was really an intense time.
Yeah.
Everyone was making decisions very fast.
Yeah.
And it felt a little too fast.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about that story. How did it progress from that to what was next?
So we called it the crazy plan. And it began with us just broadening our search. We wanted to stay in the Pacific Northwest. We wanted to be near friends and family still. And we needed to be able to, where if my husband needed to go into work, he could still get into Seattle. So we expanded. We started looking at Olympia, and we called it the crazy plan. And then we would come down for the weekends and look at houses and scope things out. We stayed for a weekend and practiced taking the bus into Seattle to see what that would be like.
That's intense. You guys were doing a lot of research.
It's a pretty big decision.
Yeah.
And when you're leaving all your friends and family, and Seattle is the best. I mean, it's such a big city. It has so much to offer.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a small town.
Yeah.
That was very conservative, very rural, and you couldn't pay me to move back there. So I didn't want to move to a place that felt backwards.
Yeah.
And Olympia doesn't feel that way. It's a small town, but it's very progressive. Because it's got the seat of the government here, but it's also got Evergreen, so it's got a lot of diversity in the way small towns often don't.
Yeah.
So it felt like a good fit for me.
Did it feel kind of like a little Seattle?
I would say a little bit more like a little Portland.
Okay.
Because Portland's got a bit more of a weird vibe that Olympia has, where Seattle's a bit more shy these days.
Yeah. Yep. I would say that too. So you started doing your tour of Olympia. You started taking the bus. You were trying to figure out if this really could be something, your crazy plan. And then when did you bite the bullet?
So I'm a numbers person. So it was the math. Really.
Okay.
We could get a home that was everything I wanted for under 250,000.
Okay, so this again was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But still, the comparison for what you could get was several $100,000 less.
That's half. It was practically half.
Okay.
And that got us our cute little craftsman with 500 square foot garage that my husband could work from home in, and this big yard with all those rhododendrons, like, cute, nice property, everything I wanted in a home.
Yeah.
That would cost so much more. So I got that. But I also got excellent school district that really mattered for me. And we can still drive into Seattle. We can still see our people.
Yeah. Have you taken the bus to Seattle or the Sounder since you've lived here?
So my husband goes into Seattle every so often. There's actually a direct bus from DuPont, which is, 15 minutes or so from here. Yeah. So he'll usually leave his car in the parking ride and take the bus in because he works right in downtown, which parking is a huge hassle.
Right. And expense.
Yeah. So it's a straight shot during the weekdays. So yeah, he's done it a lot of times.
But none of you guys haven't done like family outing everybody into Seattle through.
We had friends, so we drive and then we hit, several people.
Right.
Or sometimes I go in just for shopping.
Yeah. Do you miss the connections that you had with the people in the Seattle area, or you're able to maintain those pretty well?
I maintained everything. I have really good friends in Seattle, but I need a lot of community here. So I have both.
Yeah, that's cool. So you get both. And what about your son? How did he feel about making the move?
So initially the transition was a little bit rough because we moved here in the spring. And so we had that first summer where it was just like he was home, but we didn't know any kids yet because we hadn't started the school.
Yeah.
So the first summer he was lonely. There was a lot of connecting with his friends back home, and it was tough.
Yeah.
But then once school started, then he had his friends, and then he got involved in Boy Scouts and things like that.
Yeah.
And so then everything was rolling as it should. But initially it was a little bit rough.
So I know you mentioned schools, so tell me more about your experience with the schools here.
So when it comes to my son, school is really important to me. So the Olympia School District, it outranks the Seattle School District. And my son was in really good schools before, so it was very important to me that we didn't decrease his educational content just because we wanted, this lifestyle change with this more affordable house and everything.
Right. So how's he doing now?
So good. So he's in high school, and yes, he's thriving. We're all thriving. It was definitely the right call. And the school districts it has been very good experience.
That's amazing. Have you discovered anything unusual or any surprises since you moved here to Olympia that you weren't expecting?
Oh, well, so I had researched a lot about schools, but I didn't really realize how much the base would impact things.
Okay.
I didn't know that, most of the people we know are military or ex-military. I didn't actually even factor that in. I didn't know it was going to be like that.
Yeah.
I also kind of discovered Tacoma after we moved to Olympia, because when you live in Seattle, you almost never go to it. No, you don't go there. But I like Asian food. Olympia does not have a lot of Asian food.
It doesn't.
No.
That is really surprising.
Not
There's a lot of Thai food, but I can't think of very many Chinese restaurants. And there's a few teriyaki places and lots of Vietnamese.
But coming from Seattle, it just doesn't have the same. We don't have a mega Asian grocery store either, like H Mart. So, but Tacoma is far away, easy to get to. And so I can easily go and, do a big grocery shopping trip.
Yeah, perfect. Any other surprises you can think about?
Ooh, what else was surprising? I guess we go to Portland a lot more often than I expected.
Okay.
That wasn't really, I wasn't thinking about that, but it's new to us.
The bonus?
Yeah, it is.
Do you guys take the train or do you just drive?
We drive.
Okay. You should try the train. I've done it before, and it's super convenient, and it's pretty cheap. It's between $25 to $60, takes you right downtown, and you just get to lounge on the train all day, and then you can go and do your Portland-y things, and then jump on and come back up.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Did it take you a while to adjust to Olympia and the speed of living or anything else?
Oh, it's so easy. So I got a parking ticket. I don't know if you've gotten a parking ticket in Olympia before. It was $15. It was a joke to me. I mean, after having dealt with really trying to find parking so frequently is such a part of life in Seattle, You know, you go to visit your friends if they live in an apartment and you're just like circling and circling and it's a whole thing. And so, yeah, when I got the parking ticket, it was 15. I was like, oh, it's so simple. Like if I want to go see a show in the theater, I could decide 15 minutes before the show starts because all I need to do is drive 7 minutes over there, park for 2 minutes, which is free, and go there because it's not sold out.
Right.
And because it's just effortless so much compared to like if I want to go see a show when I'm in Seattle, like I need to book far in advance. I need to park really far away. I need to pay a lot to park. There's just so much more steps. Everything is in Seattle, but it's not all accessible in the same way.
Right.
And yeah, it's just easy.
Do you, like, obviously Olympia's downtown is different than Seattle's downtown, but do you find yourself going downtown Olympia? Do you enjoy the vibe that Olympia offers?
I actually go to Lacey a lot too. I guess I don't spend a whole lot of time, like, I go out sometimes and more do family things.
Yeah. So what are some family fun things that you've done since you moved down here?
So when my son was younger, we would go to the Hands-On Children's Museum.
That's great.
Which is so fabulous. And again, like easy parking, easy access, affordable. So we did that a lot.
Did you have a yearly membership or anything?
Of course. Of course. So easy. Then as he got older, I really liked the Olympia Family Theater. Their camps are great. Their plays are really entertaining. Like, you know, when you go to see a kid's play, how you're kind of like,
expectations are very high.
No, theirs are legit good. So I really enjoy both of those resources, but also just the parks too.
Yeah, the parks are great. Do you have a favorite?
Lions Park, we can walk to it. It has one of those spinning towers. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I love the parks here. That is one of my favorite things about Olympia is you're only a couple minutes from a park in each direction that you go. And you mentioned Lacey. So for those of you who don't know, Olympia, Lacey, Tumwater are all meshed together, even though they're separate towns. And you mentioned you go a lot to Lacey, but do you do some things at Tumwater too? You just kind of flow in and out of all the areas in this area?
Sure. I mean, the best gym in the area is in Tumwater.
I know. You go to the Valley.
I do. The Valley's nice.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like a country club style gym. You just wouldn't expect it. It's really wonderful.
Yeah. And it doesn't take you any longer than going somewhere else in Olympia either because, like I said, Tumwater is Olympia, Tumwater, like that pretty much.
Oh, yeah. I can leave my house 20 minutes before a yoga class starts.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yes.
Speaking of that, tell us about the difference in traffic that you experience from living in Seattle to living in Olympia.
That's one of the things we really notice when we go back and visit our friends in Seattle is like just how much is involved. You have to just be so on top of it when you're driving, but the parking and just the congestion, it's an intensity that you don't really realize when you're living in it all the time. But once you moved away for a while, you really feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think even at maximum rush hour in Olympia, which is like a joke, it takes you an extra 5 to 10 minutes to get maybe from one end to the other.
Yeah.
It's really non-existent.
Yeah.
It's like the $15 parking ticket.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of
laughable.
It really is. Yeah.
So what would you say to other people who are thinking about moving from Seattle to Olympia?
I think for us, it was good to reality test it, to test the commute, and also to get a feel by going out to the restaurants and things how we liked it.
Yeah.
I think it's such a big decision that helped us. But schools are top notch. The schools are going to be better quality and easier and much more tremendous value for your housing costs. Because really you're buying, like for me at least, you're buying the house because of the school district.
Yeah.
And so what you're getting is a really good value.
Right. So that would be especially hard in Seattle, trying to get into the best school districts because the prices are going to be even higher in those areas for the housing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you're not going to be able to get your first choice unless your budget is way higher than what my budget was. So,
yeah. So just so you know, right now, the average price of homes in Seattle, that's an average, obviously not the most expensive, cheapest, but it's $1 million. And in Olympia, it's $600,000 with Tumwater, Lacey being even cheaper than that. So it's about half still, I think it was when you moved here 7 years ago.
And my house just came up a lot too. So I'm happy about that.
And she does have an adorable house. Very, very adorable. Cute little bungalow. Super cute. All right, so what would you say is one of the biggest benefits you've gained from moving to Olympia from Seattle?
Well, for our family, we were looking at this bigger mortgage, 30 years. And then because of the price point down here, we did a 10-year mortgage. So we'll have our house paid off by the time my son graduates high school.
That's amazing.
It opens up a lot of possibilities, but also in the meantime, because we were able to transfer my husband's tech job to here, we moved the salary here too. So I haven't needed to work since we moved here 7 years ago.
Wow. If somebody's listening to this and thinking, oh my gosh, that would be crazy. Did you know that was going to be the result of this? Or you just kind of made the decision and like, oh wow, I don't have to work anymore?
I knew I'd have to give up my job because my job wouldn't transfer. I worked for the city and that wasn't going to work. But I have my master's degrees in public administration. So there was a lot of opportunities for me in the Olympia area.
Sure.
So sure, I could pick it up whenever I want to. But right now, especially during the pandemic, we were able to switch gears so easily because of me not working, because of less congestion here. It's like when we were quarantining, we could just walk around. It really felt like we'd made the right decision during that era because we felt such ease and a lot of people really struggled.
Yeah. So financially, it's been the biggest. What other, besides your mortgage, how else has that financial change been a big benefit for you? What have you been able to do differently?
We travel extensively. We travel extensively. We've been to 10 countries in the last 7 years.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
I'd like to go to 10 countries. I would like to just go to one country in 7 years.
Talk to me, we'll plan.
Okay.
But no, we love to travel. I've been able to be, because of being a stay-at-home mom now, it's like I've been able to be very involved in a lot of school things. My son can do those camps that are only 4 hours a day that working moms are like, why do those exist? We've been able to have so much family time and it's been like a different life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're really happy.
So after you watch this video, if you decided, I think I might want to move to Olympia or just somewhere outside of Seattle, then you definitely want to get in touch with us. And like we said before, we've made it easy for you. Just jump on our calendar in the link in the description below or just text us.
And if you are looking to buy, we want to make sure you get one of our free resources, which is the top 5 most expensive repairs that you want to look out for when you're buying your next home. We're Joe and Charity with the Live Well Home Group, and it's our goal to help you live well your way.